Hello again, everybody. I'm Matt Robinson, and welcome to another exciting edition of Robinson Responds. I'm here to give you my thoughts on some things that caught my eye during the fifth Sunday of the 2024 regular season. Let's start off with Sunday Night Football. What a thriller it was between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. These two teams have been joined at the hip for decades, playing in Super Bowls, producing Hall of Famers, so on and so forth. Several things that caught my eye about this game. Number one, this game was about Dak Prescott being effective in the final drive, able to find Jalen Tolbert in the end zone for a touchdown. However, also in this game, it goes to show that right now Dallas is not a good team and they're not a great team, but they're a decent team. Still unable to run the football. Their defense is not the best. A lot of key injuries. They can't stay healthy. Also, too, some other things that got my attention. The Pittsburgh Steelers, even with Dallas having injuries to Micah Parsons and also to DeMarcus Lawrence, as well as injuries that had taken place in the game, Pittsburgh still only put up 17 points on offense. Justin Fields, the inability to move the football, Pittsburgh's inability to run the football. The defense did their job. T.J. Watt and company, they did what they were supposed to do. The offense, they failed to do their job. They're saying that a report, if you watch the Sunday Night Football telecast, sideline reporter Melissa Stark talked to Russell Wilson, and he told her that he should be ready within next week or two. So it looks as though that Russell Wilson, he needs to hurry back and get back as quick as possible because Pittsburgh's offense looked bad. They missed a lot of opportunities to put up more than 17 points on the board. That was just ridiculous. And then Pittsburgh's defense, again, they did their job in the Sunday night game, but they got tired and they got beat up towards the end of the game. And that's how Dak Prescott was able to make key plays when necessary. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the Dallas offense started really bad. Dak wound up throwing 2 interceptions, but they were able to finish strong with getting that touchdown to win the game. And people are saying that it was all about Dak. It was all about Dak to a certain degree, but give a lot of credit to Rico Dowdle, their running back, who made some key runs, not just late in the third quarter, but especially going into the fourth quarter and in that final drive. Rico is definitely not getting enough credit because Rico answered the bell when it was necessary. He had 87 rushing yards to finish the game to go along with the receiving touchdown. So, to sum up Sunday Night Football, Dallas, not a good team, not a great team, but they are a decent team right now. They're still affected by a lot of injuries, inconsistent when it comes to running the football, and Pittsburgh, their offense is still very old school. They rely so heavily on defense, which is a blessing and a curse. I don't think Russell Wilson, he needs to hurry up and come off of the injury list so he can get the Steelers' offense going. George Pickens only had like a couple of catches in the game. Just wasn't good. If Pittsburgh wants to go further in the regular season and really want to get a high playoff spot, they're going to have to get the ball down the field. It's just that simple. But in Sunday Night Football, again, another classic game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dallas would win 20-17. Also, some games that caught my eye during Week 5 was the New York Giants in an impressive win over the Seattle Seahawks, 29-20. Daniel Jones played a solid game, didn't turn the ball over, which was shocking for how tough Seattle's defense is, and the Giants definitely had a much-needed win going up to the Pacific Northwest and taking care of business up in Seattle. The Arizona Cardinals wind up winning by 1 point, beating the San Francisco 49ers 24-23. The Houston Texans get a game-winning field goal to beat the Buffalo Bills 23-20. I wouldn't push the panic button just yet on Buffalo or San Francisco. It's still early in the season. They still have time to try to make some changes happen. The Indianapolis Colts took on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville would win by 3 points with a game-winning field goal. Again, Jacksonville would win 37-34. Joe Flacco had close to 360 yards passing to go along with 3 touchdown passes. We may live in the current era of the quarterback where it's all about athletic ability and extending plays. But Joe Flacco is your old school NFL pocket passer. Not athletic, but a strong arm, and if his offensive line gives him enough time, he can definitely make plays. And he made a lot of plays despite the Colts losing to Jacksonville. We had another classic rivalry game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. In overtime, Baltimore would win 41-38. So again, you had another classic battle with Lamar Jackson going up against Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson, 348 yards passing to go along with 4 touchdown passes. Joe Burrow, 392 yards passing to go along with 5 touchdown passes and an interception. So Cincinnati, they had the game. They had multiple chances to close it out. They failed to do so. Lamar went in and handled his business, but not just Lamar Jackson, but also Derrick Henry. You talk about somebody that has really been a security blanket for the Baltimore Ravens. We talk about Saquon Barkley and his importance so far to the Philadelphia Eagles offense. But Derrick Henry has been a security blanket to the Baltimore Ravens offense, especially in the overtime period where he was able to get a big run, get him in field goal range, and as usual, Justin Tucker kicks the game-winning field goal to give Baltimore a 41-38 win in overtime. The Washington Commanders beat the Cleveland Browns. The Washington Commanders beat the Cleveland Browns 34-13. So for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, 238 yards passing to go along with the touchdown pass, and he had 11 carries for 82 yards. The Commanders just continue to rock and roll in this early part of the NFL season, and Jaden Daniels right now, he's the clear-cut favorite to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. With his arm strength and with his athletic ability, he's able to make plays happen for the Commanders. You saw with Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler what they did in the win over the Browns. And then you saw Terry McLaurin make plays. You saw Luke McCaffrey and De'Ami Brown make plays. You also saw Zach Ertz make plays. Zach Ertz has found the fountain of youth with the Washington Commanders, and certainly Dan Quinn looking really good so far in his first year as the head coach of the Commanders. And then we had the NFL International Series. We had the game in London with the New York Jets going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings beat the Jets 23-17. Aaron Rodgers, multiple interceptions in the game, had an injury but was able to come back in the game. He was able to finish. But the defense, they did their job. Offense, not so much. Now, Aaron, listen, he's not going to move around as much as he used to. He doesn't have the elusiveness that he once did maybe several years ago. But he still can throw the ball. He still can put that ball right on the money when necessary. But things are going to have to happen with the Jets, not just with Aaron improving his play, but also, most importantly, the running game. Running game has got to really open up with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and company. And the Jets, believe it or not, they still have a chance to take first place in the AFC East division very early in this year, as they have a big one coming up on Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. So as for the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold, you can have him as an early candidate for league MVP. Was banged up a little bit in this game, but he was able to finish strong. And the Vikings running game, they were able to get some key yardage from the likes of Ty Chandler. Aaron Jones suffered a hip injury. We'll see what the long-term prognosis is for him, but Minnesota, at least in my opinion, they're the real deal right now as they handle their business across the pond in London, beating the New York Jets 23-17. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.